Okay, video number 9. See, if I pay attention and if I focus just a bit on what I'm doing while I'm doing it, I bit by bit learn to trust and let go. But what is absolutely necessary to do this is, of course, experience. And experience, I have had so much experience with walking barefoot in all kinds of places that by now I know how to let go and to simply continue. But you know, I don't have much experience with this kind of camera, and so because I'm outside, I also don't have to be overly silent, so I can be as loud as I want to be. And of course, in nature, I can let it all out. You know, people that go to a gym, they have the predicament of basically being caught in, you know, they kind of have to be a certain way, you know. They will pay attention to how their butt looks like. They will pay attention to how their muscles look like, right? While what I pay attention to is the way I feel about doing certain things, right? Does this feel good or does it feel bad? You know, did it feel bad to tumble down that hill, or was it also liberating because I let go of the fear of hurting myself? See, there's always that fine balance. And see, now for instance, I feel like I've done enough, right? So I can relax a bit more, right? I can just, because now I've put in the work, I worked for it to feel good in nature, and now I can just explore a bit and have a look at, you know, beautiful, right? It's like beautiful landscape. And there's quite a nice book series, it's called Twig. There's a lot of decent wisdom in there. The Edge Chronicles, it's called. There's a lot of decent wisdom in there. And especially about Twig. Twig in the deep woods. And then Twig, there's the second one of the Twig Chronicles. You know, quite nice. I can only recommend that to you. And anybody who hasn't watched the Avatar, The Last Airbender, check it out. If you want to check out my anime list for all the anime that I've watched, there is a very good anime. It's called Children of the Sea. It's not very famous, but it's one of the best I've ever seen. Of course, all the Ghibli movies, especially Princess Mononoke, I usually like to watch them in Japanese with English subtitles, but recently I've started watching them in English or German, depends. There's a very nice anime, it's called Cowboy Bebop. There's also a nice one, Trigun, also cyberpunk. I quite enjoyed. It was a bit too bloody for my taste, and that's why I like Trigun, and that's why I like Cowboy Bebop, because it isn't really bloody, and it's about true heroes that don't like spilling blood, but that would do if they would be forced to do it. And so you see, my intention is usually I try to be as peaceful as I can be. But if somebody really wants to test me, I will set them boundaries. And why? Not because I'm bad or good, because sometimes people are so selfish that they cannot see how they treat me, so I have to show them by being their mirror. This is how you are, and this is how I can be, but only because you force me to be like this. So I had that guy who sent me emails, and he was taking a piss on me, and so I got a bit angry, and he tried to play with me a bit. Well, now I haven't heard of him in 2 days. I think I gave him something to work with, right? I don't know. You know, I don't pretend to be like super friendly. I'm just who I am, and you know, whoever I am and however I need to be changes depending on my position in life and depending on the people I spend time with. So if I'm, let's say, with a beautiful woman, and that woman, you know, is maybe my wife, and she's a bit like emotionally unstable, and she gets like really angry at me, and she doesn't want to be loved, so she just wants to like screw me, right? Either like by having sex or like by having a fight. Maybe I have to like, you know, I don't try to be like her, but I try to say, stop, right? You have to learn to calm down a bit. So women also have to take responsibility for their own emotions, take care of their own emotions. Women have to learn to take care of themselves, which doesn't mean having sex with men. That means spending time with yourself on your own, and then learning to be okay, which means you learn to love and appreciate yourself by connecting to maybe some higher love, such as God, or some higher love, you know, like Mother Nature. And that's basically what I'm trying to do when I go into nature and I challenge myself. You know, I don't like to spend a lot of time indoors, but you know, there's not really a way of escaping that all the time, just because at the moment that's how it is. So, right, I'm sure there will be a time where I will be more outdoors than indoors. At the moment, you know, when I'm indoors, I just keep myself busy enough to stay somewhat happy, and whether that is being busy through working, painting, you know, I consider what I do my work, and that also gives me the right mentality to be serious about it. Because if I don't take what I'm doing serious, you know, other people will throw me off this place quite easily, because if they try to give me the feeling that what I'm doing is like foolish and playing around just because they can't do it and because they cannot find sense in it. And that is exactly why I had to learn how to find also the balance and take care of my place of heaven, because what I'm doing here is my heaven, but it's constantly being disturbed by my own hell. My own hell is doing what other people force me to do, including like states and stuff and institutions. That's partly my hell, and being dependent on all kinds of things is also my hell, right? So I use what I can to do what I want, and I try to really smile, right? To really smile as much as I can. I don't really understand how this record time keeps changing so much. It doesn't really matter, because this video is over now. You know, there's one more on this walk, which I will use to bring this entire thing to a conclusion. And then the next video will be indoors, where I will show you some, you know, an easy exercise that you can be doing. And then, of course, video number 12 of this month is going to be me painting an image, and you can check out, you know, how that image is looking. Christopher-Reusch.com, that's all there is to it.